Hi, everyone. So tonight's going to be a little bit different of a stream because, well, last night's stream went off the rails. I had Wendy Adelson supporter come in and try to, well, did derail the stream because I was going to be reviewing the Wendy Adelson interview slash interrogation. And that was quite interesting. But I had an email today from, I'm not going to name anybody's names. I'm not going to even pull up the email because it would completely say who it was. From a larger, very large YouTube channel stating what I did wrong by not blocking that person, by having a conversation with that person, and that I should be ashamed of myself. So I decided I would do this live because I'm not ashamed of myself. And they should be ashamed of themselves for reaching out to a small channel that has 20 subscribers when they have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. Really? Are people that I'm just reacting to things. I'm not saying, I'm not going out there and getting all kinds of documents, which I do. I have some, and I was going to talk about a couple of them tonight, but I figured I'd get this out of the way first. So, yeah, that happened. Like, really? What is, I'm not a person, I'm not a person that believes in one side is always right. There's two sides to every story. And now, me saying that, Charlie Adelson, guilty. I knew that from the beginning. Donna, guilty. Wendy, can't wait to see that witch in cuffs. Harvey, he's guilty. I just don't know how they get there. I'm hoping Donna's stuff opens that a little bit more. But 100% the man is guilty. I just don't know how he gets there, how Georgia gets there. And that's because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not. But for this large channel to reach out and leave that, give me that email, I thought, it's quite interesting. Because if you 100% believe in your stance, in your position, then having somebody come into your channel and try to derail it like they did mine, then guess what? You're not that stern on your stance, because you should have all the receipts to shut that person down. So that being said, thank you for your email, because obviously you watched. Thank you for your email, and I appreciate your opinion. But let's do you and I'll do me. And, hopefully we both want the same results. So hopefully we get to, at the finish line, the same results, because your opinion, I'm 100% on board with it. So, and oh, by the way, congratulations on how big of a channel you are. That's amazing. Now, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Rochelle. I live in Canada. I am a DA survivor, and I'm an SA survivor. not of anybody that I didn't know, of a partner. This partner, when he did this, I was in the midst of leaving the relationship because it was very unhealthy. I came to realize that I was in a very narcissistic relationship and it was not healthy. I doubted myself every minute of the day. I thought, what is wrong with me? And I was actually on YouTube. And for some reason, I honestly did not know the word narcissism. It wasn't in my realm of anything. And one day I was scrolling through recommendations on YouTube, and there was this thing about how to survive a narcissist partner. And I thought, well, that's weird. What is that? Like, why would that be in my recommendations? I've never said the word, I've never anything. So I clicked on it. 30 minutes later, I'm sitting on my couch, stunned. Just literally stunned that this was my life. This was my life. And from that moment on, I started to make plans to get out of that life, which I should have did more research because I would have found another YouTube video says how to leave a narcissist partner. I didn't know that. So I vocally said, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm finished. I can't, I got no more to give. If there's anybody out there that comes across this video and you know of a friend or a family member or anything like that that is you feel is in that type of situation, please give them my email. I will always be here for anybody that needs somebody to speak to. Because sometimes you can't speak to your family members. You're embarrassed. You're just you're too broke down. And the major reason you can't speak to your family members is because that narcissist has already got to them. So if you can't get through to your loved one, just send them my email. Sometimes somebody you don't know is a better person because of the embarrassment, of feeling like you're not going to be believed, of feeling like you're nothing. And that's what they do. They strip you. I call them soul vampires. They suck everything out of you. You got nothing left. So I decided I was leaving and I decided I was going to be brave and I was going to be strong and I was going to stand my ground. Big mistake. Big mistake. First mistake, said, that's it, I'm done. Second mistake was to keep calling this person out on their narcissism, on their lies, on their cheating, on all of it. Just constantly, every time something was said, calling them out. Second mistake. Third mistake was not waiting for that person to be gone and just go. And just go. So a week before I was leaving, I was attacked. I'm not there yet to go into my story. I will, because I'm hoping someday it will help someone. But I was attacked. And my son might watch this, and I have never told him exactly what happened. And for 9 hours, it went on for 8 or 9 hours till I was able to escape. I'll never forget that. 2:32 in the morning of September 22nd, 2022. That's when I was free. So when I do this, I'm doing this because basically that channel that berated me today, I want them to know, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. And you don't have the right to tell me who I listen to or who I speak to. I am 100, like I said to Bubba last night. I'm okay with your opinion. I'm okay with my opinion. I don't judge people. I guess when you have that moment in life where you're either here or maybe not here, you learn to respect people more. So again, I'm not going to talk about this much longer, but that big channel, shame on you. Seriously, I've got 20 subscribers. That's it. You've got thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. And you write me an email because I wasn't entertaining Bubba. I was having a conversation. Well, really, a conversation and a chat all at the same time. But he has the right to his opinion, as I have the right to mine, as you have the right to yours. I'm only doing this tonight, like I said, is because obviously you watched last night's, or I wouldn't have got that email. So I'm hoping you watch tonight and realize that life would be very, very, very boring if everybody believed their own way and was not willing to be open to hear somebody else's opinions. And that's what I have to say about that. So, and like I told Bubba, you are more than welcome to come on this channel. I will never block someone. If I block someone, it's because they're being crude, they're being nasty, they're being derogatory, things like that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in blocking somebody for that stuff. And see, I just had one viewer and the viewer's gone. So I'm just a small channel. But that one viewer, how do I not know? Was that not that big channel that just had to come in and see if I was saying something about them, which I will not name them. I'm not that person. And I will not, I won't even show their email because honestly, I thought about showing the email, but I'd have to redact quite a lot of the email to try to protect that person's identity. So I just thought I would just do a general thing about it. So what I am going to do, because this is what I wanted to do. Well, I wanted to do Wendy's thing yesterday, but I didn't. I didn't get to it. We're going to do Donna's motion to change the trial room. Oh, hold on. Let's go over here. Oh, let me just see how. Can I do this? Oh, no, hold on. I am not too sure. Let me just see. Oh, there we go. She figured it out. This is new, all new to me, honestly. My son came to visit, and I told him I had the idea of doing this. He had to explain to me I needed 2 screens, which was like, "Oh, no. How am I gonna do this?" Then he had to set up the whole 2-screen thing over the phone because he forgot. "You forgot, bud." And he had to show me how to use, it was Streamlabs, but I didn't like it. So I went to StreamYards, but because he showed me how to use Streamlabs, learn I was able to figure out StreamYards, which is much easier, by the way. So, and I know he's getting tired of me because I call him every other day. "Oh my goodness, I've got so many views. I got one more subscriber." I've got the best kid in the world. Well, he's not a kid. He's a 28-year-old man. And he's got the best girlfriend. I love her. I think the world of her. So we're just going to go ahead and share this screen. We'll go through a couple of these things here. Let me see if I can make this bigger for everybody. Bear with me. There's a way. Maybe not. Dead air is not good, they say. Honestly, I wish you could have music. Have some music, have some fun. There has got to be a way because I'm telling you, I can't read it off that screen. Mm-hmm. There's usually like a plus and minus button to. What if I do this? If I move this over, does that make it bigger? No. Because, yeah, there's no way I'm reading it off this screen. And my eyes aren't that good. What if I go edit? Okay. Well, let's go full screen. How about that? Does that make it easier? You don't have to see me. Okay. So let's get this started. The Circuit Court of the Second Judicial Circuit in and for Leon County, Florida, State of Florida versus Donna Adelson. Defendant Donna Adelson, by and through undersigned counsel, respectfully moves this court for an order directing that trial be held in court's regular assigned courtroom, courtroom 3B, and states as follows. 1. Miss Adelson's upcoming trial is scheduled to proceed not in this court's regularly assigned courtroom, but in courtroom 3G. So like I said, I'm not from Tallahassee. I'm not from the United States. I'm from Canada. What a lot of the other commentators on this are talking about is how small 3G is, which I'm hoping Judge Everett doesn't let this happen. Like, I'll be watching on TV, so it really does not affect me, but I believe everybody has the right to be in there. I believe that in Canada too, but it's not like that here. You can go in the gallery, but our court cases are not televised. The decision to use courtroom 3G was, we imagine, a response to the public's demonstrated interest in this case, and in keeping with the Florida Supreme Court position that the public should generally have unrestricted access to all judicial proceedings. And then they cite some case law. Number 3, as the Supreme Court has made clear, however, the public's right to access is not absolute, but must yield in order to protect the defendant in the criminal prosecution from inherently prejudicial influences which threaten fairness of, and you can see I've got this highlighted, his trial. Is there something about Donna we don't know? And the abrogation, sorry if I can't pronounce it, of his trial. So they're emphasizing Donna. I check those hands out. Let me just say, check her hands out. Constitutional rights, where a defendant's rights to a fair trial conflicts. We'll just move up. With the public's right of access. It is the right of access which must yield, case law. 40. Oh boy. 4. Unfortunately, as we learned during Charlie Adelson's trial, in highly publicized cases like this one, the more observers there are in the gallery or any given day, the greater risk to the defendant's constitutional rights. Now, I'm not a scholar on the United States constitutional rights. Not going to speak to it because I don't know. What I do know is, how the hell is that possible? If there is a member or a United States citizen and you come across this, can you explain where that might be a constitutional, against Donna's constitutional rights? Number 5, in Mr. Adelson's case, can we change this? Can I just say where it says Mr., can I just say Jackass's case? For example, someone in the gallery took a photograph of a note passed between Jackass and his counsel on the second day of jury selection and proceeded to post that note on social media. So I watched the jury selection and I watched it again because I don't, I don't know. I could have missed it, but I didn't see no visual note being passed. But then again, I could have missed it. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Pardon me. Let me have a sip of coffee here. Proceeded to post that note on social media. I haven't seen that note. I actually deep dive today trying to find it to see if it was actually something. While the substance of the note was unrelated to Jackass's case, October 26, 2023, trial TR at 8, the reporting in the media speculated about the note and its importance. What would it matter? It's a posted note. It probably said, it was probably a posted note that probably said, do you think you can bring me in a burger instead of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich they're going to give me today? It's probably what it said. Okay, moreover, the fact that it was photographed and released to the public's consumption forced defense counsel to modify how and when they communicated with Mr. Adelson for the duration of the trial. Are you kidding me? Anybody that watches that trial can see Charlie constantly passing notes. You could see it constantly. So where did they, you know, figure out how they were going to communicate with Mr. Adelson? Like seriously, look at it. Go back, watch it. That Rashbaum had to say, enough. Like Charlie killed how many trees with those post-it notes? Seriously. Even more significantly, later in the proceedings, during the cross examination of an important government witness, one of the jurors stood up in the middle of the examination and signaled to the court to stop the proceedings. After the court spoke with the juror, we came to learn that individuals in the gallery were making facial and hand gestures towards the jury in an effort to convey opinions of the testimony, which were distracting at least to one juror who complained of the incident. Okay, so again, I can't speak of this. I was not in the gallery, but many have spoke of this. They spoke of juror number 15, the one that everybody kept speculating that, he was on Charlie Adelson's side, he was going to be the one to watch. The one that was making faces, I remember Katie Kool-Lady said that many times he would make head gestures and stuff like that. So, and to be honest, from an outside public, it's not very obvious of when that happened. So, could have been the man stood up and said, I had to go pee. Whatever. Okay, so which distracted at least one juror who complained of the incident. Actions like this may clearly affect the jurors. And then we have a footnote. So where's the footnote? Oh, footnote. Once again, we are seeking a remedy that would be effective in protecting the rights of the accused without being broader than necessary to accomplish this process. Ability to independently assess the testimony and thereby affect a defendant's rights to a fair and impartial trial. Okay, I'm assuming this is a motion from Daniel. I think Daniel went and seen who was that guy beside her, Charlie, what was his name? His neighbor that sold the bonsai tree. Maybe Daniel went and visited him and had too much time with the bonsai trees when he wrote this. Number 7. I'm so glad I wasn't on camera there. And at several points, the proceedings were interrupted when members of the public, contrary to this court's clear admonition, attempted to record the proceedings and failed to silence their cell phones. Heard a few go off during the trial, but I think this one is the one where we all seen Ruth leave the room, but we also seen Daniel try to stop that from happening. This is an easy one to fix. Honestly, if this is, make sure all cell phones are off. When we go into a courtroom here, Your cell phones have to be off, not even on silent, off. 8. In, in a case with tremendous attention and strong opinions that is covered virtually every single day, all in all sorts of social media and other media outlets, there is a risk of a larger live audience creating sort of a mob mentality in regard to reactions to testimony. What? So I could be wrong, and this could, but what I'm reading here is people watching. There's a risk of a larger live audience creating a sort of mob mentality in regard to reactions to testimony. Is he comparing this child to Johnny and Amber? Because from what I saw, everybody in that courtroom, and the viewer has a better perspective. Everybody in that gallery was very respectful. Maybe what he's worried about is when Charlie was testifying and he was doing his direct, which, my God, was so dreadfully long, so boring. Paint drying is more entertaining, but you could see the gallery kind of getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That visual, if that's what he's talking about. Because if I was a juror and I saw that, I'd be like, okay. But then again, I probably wouldn't think anything towards, I 100% would put that on Daniel. You're boring, man. You were putting people to sleep. Number 9. All of these types of incidents described above, should they occur during Mrs. Adelson's trial, will threaten her ability to secure a fair trial and risk a mistrial, which no one wants. Okay, so there was a lot of people in that gallery for Charlie's trial. Cell phones rang in Charlie's trial. A juror stood up in Charlie's trial. Supposedly faces were made in Charlie's trial, which they said was not. Once they reviewed the footage, the person that he was blaming did not do anything wrong. Guess what, Daniel? No mistrial. So that's just a line of bullshit right there. We'll just call it out. While your honor certainly does his best, the easiest way to mitigate these risks is to reduce the number of in-person courtroom observers, which this court can readily achieve by ordering that trial be held in courtroom 3B. You know what Daniel doesn't want to risk? This is all about Daniel. Let's go back to Wendy's trial 1, trial 2, same costume. You got Wendy's wearing the same costume for 2 trials because she wanted to have it look like she was in 1 trial. Daniel Rashbaum had 1 client and crashed and burned in 3G. He wants it to move to 3B because the optics, it's a different. From what I've heard from other people, it's the same, it's just kind of flipped, and where you enter is different. And it's smaller. Daniel doesn't want to wear the same costume because the optics of him crashing and burning would look a little different when he crashes and burns in 3B. Listen, Daniel, you're the one that took this case on. Listen, you want to pad your pockets? I get it. You want to pad your bank account? I get it. But when you touch a hot pot, do you put your hand back on the handle again? He's probably a great guy. I'm just saying. And maybe he's a good lawyer. And we all know he didn't have a good defense. But how does he think this is going to turn out? You can bring on Morris. And I know a lot of people are saying that Alex Morris, is going to take the lead. My opinion, Donna Adelson will not allow that. She has her connection with Daniel. She wants Daniel. We've all heard it. He did a wonderful job. He was amazing. He did everything. It's his second mummy. She's not going to let Alex Morris take the lead. Alex Morris, in my opinion, is there because somebody needs to cross Charlie, and Daniel can't. And the perception of having a Tallahassee lawyer, which they didn't last time. So we'll go back here. Number 10. To be clear, we are not asking this court to prohibit the public's access to Mrs. Adelson's trial, or to not respect and adhere to public's right to have access to the judicial proceedings. Indeed, members of the public will still be able to attend trial, just as they would in courtroom 3G. And then there's a footnote. Once again, we are seeking a remedy that would be effective in protecting the rights of the accused without being broader than necessary to accomplish this purpose. The courtroom will still have a live camera feed, so for anyone unable to attend in person, if past is prologue, Mrs. Adelson's trial will be televised live on a national network. And as you are aware, many of your trials are routinely held in courtroom 3B, and none of those cases violate the Florida Sunshine Laws of the public's right to access. On a separate note, courtroom 3G, this is my favorite one. On a separate note, courtroom 3G, as is currently configured, also creates, that's why I highlighted it, logistical issues for defense counsel that do not exist in courtroom 3B. Among other things, it is virtually impossible for a defendant or her counsel, they got her right this time, let's give them a round of applause, to see all the jurors while seated at counsel. I am calling bullshit on this. How many times did we see Daniel at the counsel's table looking over and watching the jury? You can see it. How many times did we see Charlie look over at the jury? I call bullshit. Let's just call it out. while seated at the council's table. Here we go. Here's the best part of it all. Further, the lectern's placement immediately to the right of state makes it difficult for defense counsel to use the here this is the best, I swear to God. Defense counsel to use the Almo or other electronic devices during examination, and it makes difficult for counsel to see all jurors while the examination is occurring. Okay, let's start with the not so funny part. When Georgia was up there and she was asking her questions and she was going over everything, not once did I see her look over at that jury. She was focused, full steam ahead. Now, Daniel Rashbaum kept side-eyeing them constantly. You can see it, giving them the side eye. Every time he'd say something that he thought was clever, he'd look over quick to see if he had their attention. Daniel, you did not have their attention. You were putting them to sleep. No attention, Daniel. Now, the best part. The lectern's placement immediately to the right of the state makes it difficult for defense counsel to use the Almo or other electronic devices. Okay, the lectern was in the same place for Georgia, and she was able to use the Elmo. She was able to use electronic devices. Daniel, listen, in the beginning of this video, I had to get my 28-year-old son help me set up YouTube to stream. I get it. But do not use your excuse or knowledge on electronics to try to change this room. It was the best part, the very best part of your whole direct or cross was your inability to use a laptop. Where the electron was did not affect this for the state. The electron was in the same spot. The Elmo was in the same spot. Nothing got moved. It was all there. You just couldn't run electronics, Daniel. Oh, I love that part. He's blaming all that kerfuffle and everything that he went through on where the electron was. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? This guy. He probably went home. Every time he went home, his wife probably made fun of him, or his kids made fun of him. Moreover, the gallery is in direct view of the jurors while examinations are occurring, which can cause attempted influences from the public, which should not be allowed in a trial. All of these concerns, not as prevalent in courtroom 3B. If there's someone out there that has a picture of courtroom 3B, so what I'm picturing he's asking for is the judge up front, then in the middle, the jury facing the witness, judge up front, then state's table, defense table. But then you would have to have the jury. I don't get it. Makes no sense. Usually juries are either on the right or the left. And the jurors would have to, like, so if you look in 3G, when you watch it on TV, Katie Kool-Lady said she had to sit on the defense side so she could get, here you go. Katie Kool-Lady herself said she had to sit on the defense side to get a better view of the jurors. If she sat on the state side, she didn't get that view. So that just blows that right out of the water. Right out of the water. Katie Kool-Lady sat on the defense side so she could get better view of the jurors. Thank you, Katie Kool-Lady, for that. Because I got that from her. She said it. Okay, number 12. We know that Your Honor has had and will do his best to ensure decorum in your courtroom, but there is only so much that you can do, especially in a case with as much coverage and public interest and emotion as this one. We are simply asking this court, in the exercise of its inherent authority, to control the conduct of the proceedings before it. They state another case law. To protect the one person whose rights are paramount and whose life is on the line. Hear and convene Miss Adelson's trial in court. This line makes me sick to my stomach. It grosses me out. I understand what he's saying. I get it. Could there not have been a better way to word it? To protect the one person's rights, whose rights are paramount. She has no rights. And whose life is on the line here? Did she give that same respect to Daniel Markel? Did she? Did she protect the one person's whose rights are paramount? Did she think about whose life is on the line here? This makes me sick. There should have been, he should have maybe came up, put it in friggin' AI, put it in something, come up with another way of saying it. This makes me just disgusting. Daniel Rashbaum, you should be ashamed of yourself for that. This is dated August 12th, 2024, and I knew it was Daniel Rashbaum that made this. Oh, I got to get that off there because that's an address. I forgot to redact that. So stage. So this is just a bunch of hot air. It's just disgusting. But blaming the lectern because he can't work electronic devices. Oh, that's beautiful. That's priceless. The fact that you can't see it is virtually impossible for a defendant or her counsel to see all the jurors while seated at counsel table. Katie Kool-Lady had to sit behind the defense so she could get a good view of the jurors. Not behind the state. Nope, she had to sit there. And Daniel Rashbaum, or anybody that knows him, you can tell him, I think he needs to be ashamed of himself for this line. To protect the one person whose rights are paramount and whole life is on the line here. Your client didn't care about somebody's life on the line. Your client didn't care to protect a person's rights. She was all about taking the person's rights away. She was all about taking someone's life away. Your client is a murderer. Your client deserves to rot in a cell. And I send up prayers every night. I think about this nasty, nasty human being that she lives to 150 years old. And she rots. So we do have another one. And let's see. Let's discuss her motion to dismiss. No, that one's done. Everybody's done it. And everybody's done this one because it's a huge one. But let's do Donna's witness list. And I'm not going to go through it completely. I believe, nope, this ain't the one because I haven't redacted that one. Let me go to the right one here. Redacted. Here we go. I went through it earlier and redacted all addresses and phone numbers so we don't have any issues with YouTube. We all seen this witness list. We've all heard about it. We know that Wendy Adelson. I'm just picking out a few here because the other ones we've all heard. We all understand who they are. Sigfredo Garcia. I believe Charlie. He's on the States. Luis Rivera's on the States. Katie Meg Benoit. And Wendy's also on the state witness list too, but this is Donna's, and they've got her on there. And I think this is another reason why Daniel wants to change the courtroom. And this is my opinion. And I think on the States too was Robert. I do feel for that guy. Honestly, I feel for him. Good for him, though, of recognizing evil and getting away from it. So let's say we've got Killer 1. Oh, Unliver 1. No, let's call them murderers. Murder 1, Murder 2, Murder 3, Murderer 4, Charlie, and maybe the Golden Son, the one that got away. You're going to have 4 inmates, one being your son, come in shackles. Then you're going to have your wretched, wretched daughter. And then maybe the son that you disown. So through one door, you're going to have Charlie Adelson come in, jail clothes, shackles, handcuffs. Maybe he'll let his curly locks grow back just for Mummy. Then you're going to have Luis Rivera. I don't know what Sigfredo will offer, but I do believe his appeal was denied. So maybe he'll speak more freely about what Katie. But has Katie's appeal? I'm not too sure if Katie's appeal has been denied. It's going to be. She's admitted on stand that she did it. She can't, there's no appeal now. Maybe Charlie's family reached out to Sigfredo's family. Maybe that's what he's got. Let's hope. But you have, as Georgia called it, the train. So you have your train, and Georgia has gotten all the back cars of that train. Now she's at this car. She's at what they call the engine. I believe Wendy's the engine. Definitely not a caboose. She's the engine. You got all these people marching in that's gone before you and been convicted. So maybe Daniel's opinion of having a smaller courtroom, because the visual that just even if Sigfredo and Luis and Katie weren't there, just the visual of having your 3 children walk into a courtroom and testify in a trial that you are being charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy. It's going to blow my mind to watch that. And wouldn't it be something? Now, I wonder if they would spread it out over the trial, or is Georgia going for the big? I would do it right after another. One right after another. That visual itself. I'm shocked that's not an issue. I'm shocked that he's not trying to say this is an unfair trial because, the visual that will give the jurors alone. And another part of that visual is here you got the Markells that have sat through, which this will be 4 trials from here, from Canada. They go down and they go through each one of these trials. God bless them. My heart goes out to that family. So you've got them sitting there on the state side. And then here you got the defendant side. And every one of that family had their hands in this. Oh, Georgia, she is so friggin' good. She is like, talk about how this could be turned into a movie. Seriously. This is like not the climax, because the climax is going to be Wendy. That's going to be Wendy. But when you go to a fireworks show and they start off, and then they start getting bigger, 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 bigger. And then all of a sudden you have that massive bang, 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 bang. I think this is just before the finish. Because like I said, I 100% believe Harvey's guilty. 100%. But I can't see how Georgia gets there. But Georgia's way smarter than I'll ever be. She is a superhero. I call her queen. She's a queen. So you got that, to me, is going to be, and maybe Georgia will split it up. But And she's, like I said, the woman's way smarter than I am. In my view, I would think if she brought in Wendy, Charlie, Robert, I think that would be interesting. So I don't think there was much more on this defendants list because everybody else has gone all over it, and I don't think we need to do that. I brought it up because of the fact is potentially called others. Okay, yeah. What is this? This may be amended as additional witness become known to defense counsel or their whereabouts. The following is a list of items which are available for prosecutor to inspect. Papers. Okay, so they've got the AT&T records, SunPass records, Donna Adelson's emails, Wendy Adelson's emails, Stock the Bar, Bullet Bourbon invitation. We're going to get to see that invitation. Best Buy documents. The bump note. Bump letter and text. There's obviously more wired. Oh no, because they're trying to suppress the wires. That's right. Doc text message. Doc call detail records. Robert Adelson's emails. Donna Adelson's travel documents. Donald Adelson's visa. Donna Adelson's passport. Payment for villa documents owned by wife of Scott Radius. We know that. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just looking at this other screen because it's bigger and I can see it. Global Xfinity plan. Adelson's bank and financial records, subject to ruling on motion of limine. Donald Adelson's 2014 appointment book. Video proffers of Catherine McBanois. Pictures from surprise birthday party. Impeachment and rebuttal documents. So Daniel thinks, of course they had the birthday party. Everybody knows they had the birthday party. The gift wasn't at the birthday party. The discovery process will be conducted in accordance with the rule of procedure referenced above and in a manner mutually agreeable to defense counsel and the assistant state attorney as ordered by the court. Nothing in this document shall waive the defendant's ability to withdraw his, here we go, his again, notice of intent to participate in discovery where the state files for the protective order which is granted by the court. So this one was done by, it's got Daniel Rashbaum, and see, this is why I say Daniel's taking the lead. Because here, the lead attorney is always first. And then the certificate of service. Oh, we'll get that off there because I forgot to redact that. So I think he's so worried about people in the courtroom and how that's going to look to the jury and all of this. If I was Rashbaum, Come on, Rashi. Honestly. Your biggest problem is that you're wearing the same costume. You just got a different defendant. Like changing a courtroom is not going to change the fact that you've already crashed and burned once. Not going to change it. Same as Wendy wearing the same costume to 2 trials. Didn't change the fact that she was in 2 trials. Didn't change the fact that she lied in each trial. Your biggest thing, and I would almost say Donna is probably, because when Donna's 3 kids come through that door and they're on that stand, they're saying what they're saying, the mask is coming off that woman. You might be able to coach her. You want a 2-week trial? Do you think that mask is staying on for 2 weeks? No. I'm going to put it on here right now. I give that mask comes off the minute Wendy takes that stand. That's when I think the mask comes off. So last thing I'm going to talk about tonight is Harvey. Let's talk about Harvey. Is he coming? Is he going to be there? Or is he not? Well, let's see. Wendy's not letting those boys come to Tallahassee. No, I cannot see that for a second. Unless she's going to play a game and it'd be amazing if she did, because they could see their grandma and grandpa and their aunt. I don't see Wendy letting the boys come to Tallahassee. Definitely they wouldn't be in the court. If she allowed that, I would think that would be the worst for me to see that. So does Harvey stay back with the boys? Or does Donna realize how bad it looked not having anybody there for Charlie? And demands him to be there for her. Or maybe she doesn't demand. Maybe Charlie. Maybe Harvey wants to be by his wife. I don't know. I'm going to go on the record and say that Harvey will be there. So again, there's another picture. It's just Harvey will be there. Wendy will be there. Charlie will be there. It's not too clear if Rob would be there, Robert, because he was on the witness list before. So I don't, and this is the defendant's, discovery. So to me, I don't know. And the only thing I think Robert could speak of is his mother's treatment of him with his wife before her being his wife. Who knows? We don't know what kind of emails, because obviously the defense thinks he has emails, because they have Robert Adelson's emails. But I wonder if this is just an add-on from the state. I'm not too sure, so I don't really want to speak about that because I'm not 100% sure on that. But just watching her whole family testify And I'm curious, and I know this is silly. This is something silly. The wooden chair. Are they going to play on her age and give her a different chair? Or are they going to bring her in a back cushion with maybe some lumbar support? But so that's what I have for tonight. And I'm sorry it started off so wonky, but I did have to address that, you know, it's almost like they say, just pick on somebody your own size. I'm fine with it, honestly, but I don't have an issue. I just wanted to put it out there that, you know, somebody with 20 subscribers to somebody with thousands and thousands of subscribers is reaching out and sending an email. But now it's been said, done, over with, we move on because it is what it is. I have my opinion, they have their opinion, and somewhere in the middle is always the truth. So, thank you for joining me. Have a good night. If well, nobody did join me. Let's be honest. I'm the only one here talking to myself, but that's okay. Like I said, please, if you do know of anyone that is in a situation that they just don't feel okay speaking to um somebody, and you think they need to, my email is attached to my page and they're more than welcome to reach out to me. So thank you. Love yourself and be safe.